Well, I want to explain something that mostly confuses a lot of people and gets people trapped in bad trades. We spoke about the trend continuation strategy to say that once they give us a trend day, which means they trended that day and they violated the high or the low of the previous day. In this case, oil last week gave us a trend day to the upside, but the following day they collapsed down. Whereas what we say is when they give us a trend day, we want them to fall to give a buy low opportunity, and we want to buy and take it all the way back and hold till the close for even more profits, right? Yes, that's true, but let me share something very crucial with you over here. As we have already alluded, when prices do something like this, say maybe they go up and they come and close here, we don't have a lot of information except to know that we have a high somewhere here, and again we have a low somewhere here, right? And then the following day, say for instance, let's say the following day they come down and they go all the way up and eventually they close here. One thing we have here again is that we have the low somewhere over here and we have the high somewhere over here, but that's not all the information we have. We now know that they violated this day here, and what we have now is a trend day. They actually trended all the way back to the top, right? So what do we expect the following day? If that's a big if the following day they do something like this, we want to see something like a pattern. For simplicity, there's a lot of opportunities they can give even beside giving a pattern, but for people to understand it a simple way, we want to get a pattern. Could be a rectangle, triangle, head and shoulder, it doesn't matter. And then the following day we want them to pull back and give us an engulfing candle here. This is just a retest. This is a break in structure, you know, market structure, right? And we want to take it all the way back to the top. Our first TP is here, and then our second TP is here. Why? Because when I say here, I mean you hold it till the close, because when they are approaching market closing hours, they're just going to consolidate, and that's when you can close. Why? Because if we have an uptrend, it has certain characteristics for us to know. What is an uptrend? Already you know what. So we want to get a trend day over here, and then we want them to pull down. This is very important for us, okay? We want them to pull down and give us a buy low opportunity. So our first TP is obviously going to be here, but we want to hold to the close because most of the days they are going to go further more than where they made the high the previous day, and then the following day we want to get the same thing. All right, they can give you this thing maybe 5 days, 6 days, 7 days in a row, and this simply means easy executions. And sometimes if you really take it in the way that I'll show you, you can even hold for a couple of days. All right, the same applies to if it's a downtrend. It has certain characteristics for us to know it. All right, they give us a trend day, we want them to pull back and give us a sell high. This is now a sell high opportunity, whereas this one is a buy low opportunity. So we want to take it here all the way back up till the close. We hold to the close, and then they're gonna pull back again. We want to sell and take it in line with the previous day's trend day. All right, so let's say now they did this and they came and closed here. What do we have now? We have some information like during other days. We have the high and we have the low and the high, right? Let's say this day instead of pulling back, giving us a pattern, breaking out of it, retesting it and giving us an engulfing candle so that we take it all the way up. Remember, the most important thing is this collapse, right? Let's say they don't do that. Let's say instead of collapsing, they decide to do something like they can play here, and then eventually break to the downside, pull back and give us an engulfing candle here, depending on the assets. If it's something to do with London, obviously it will break out and retest during the London session. If it's something to do with the dollar, it will do that during the US session or the New York session, right? And of course we have employed the daylight saving time, so United States has added an hour, right? So when they do something like this, one thing you should note is we have the closing price, of which these days I didn't talk about it because of the setup they were giving. All right, it's about context. Now when we come to a chart as they've done this, you will have to notice that they did not give us this pullback that we are looking for. They did not collapse. So we don't have a buy low opportunity. We don't have that. Instead, we are in something that looks like a sell high opportunity. So this is the trend reversal here. Remember, this is trend continuation because we are continuing in line with the trend. But when they do something now, this is significantly different. Why? Because this is now a sell high opportunity, and this day can collapse and close many days, maybe 3 days, 2 days, 4 days, or even just 1 day. It's still okay, right? But this move is gonna be very big. And then let's say yes, indeed they did do this, and eventually they came and closed here. One thing you should know is that now we have a TD to the downside. Okay, how do you know the trend has changed? When they break the low of the previous day. When they broke this low, very important now, please pay close attention. When they break this low, which is here, this automatically renders this one. You see, this is the last day they broke out. Here they did not break out of anything. This was a TD, all right, and this one becomes a TD to the downside. So look at this. The moment they break this low, this becomes a failed break, right? A failed break. So this usually shows the change in directions. Okay, yes, gold can do this and still continue going up. We'll share gold in other videos. Okay, so when they do something like this, we are in a trend day. What do we expect? We expect them to pull back. Okay, again, it depends on where's this day something like a climax candle on a daily time frame. I'll show you a climax candle in a minute. Okay, so if they do something and give us a pattern somewhere here, that's when now we know we have what? Another beautiful opportunity. So what they are mostly going to do is they're going to come and break down here and then pull back, engulfing candle. So this is a change of directions. We can take it first TP here and we can hold, and if they do this again becomes a TD to the downside. Why? Because they violated this low here. This is so easy, and this high now remains intact. For those who are taking long terms, you can actually manage it following the low or the high, because if they are in an uptrend, they are not supposed to come and violate these areas. The day they do, the trend has changed. So if maybe the trend, the number of the, actually I'll share that, the management part. I don't want to make this video very long because most of you are going to complain at the end of the day, but I believe you understand this. So let me show you something important. So as I said, this again for me is important. Say maybe on a daily time frame. Usually I use a daily time frame, right? Let's say this is a daily, it's a daily time frame. I can look at the 4 hour, I can look at the weekly, it's still okay, but most of the time I use a daily because it simplifies things. When you see a pattern like this, it's gonna be weeks or months. Okay, so everybody around the world sees this. So whenever prices, because they bounced here and they bounced here, that means they've established a strong area here, which is a key area. The same applies to down here. You see they've just touched 3 times. All right, so what happens is big companies and institutions will sell here. They'll put a lot of pending orders here. That's why sometimes you find they just come close and they start reversing. Here there's going to be a lot of buy orders pending because not everybody wants to be in front of the computer all day long. Some companies, some institutions will just put like sell orders here, and heavy sell orders. Remember, prices are moved by institutions, all right, because they are highly liquid. They have a high liquidity. Okay, so that means to move them, you'll have to put a very big lot size. Approximately, it takes 10,000 lot size to move the markets 1 pip, and you know retail guys don't have that, right? So here, our interest is when prices come here. Somebody asked me what criteria do I use to qualify my trades. That was one of the comments I got. So what I use is the area on a daily time frame. They can give me a trend day somewhere here. I won't care much, okay? I won't care much. But if they give me, maybe, let me show you something. If they give you a trend day to the upside here, right? You can't say the following day you are waiting for prices to collapse and you want to buy all the way back. Why? Because you know there's going to be a lot of orders pushing prices down. So you can't just be super ignorant and ignore the fact of where are we, all right? So we want to be patient here. And if they give us a trend day to the downside, that's when we understand now that we have something like big money. Okay, big money is now in the move. That is to say, there are institutions. There are big institutions that are selling here because everybody sees this, right? So remember, other people are just gonna follow charts blindly. Other people are scalpers, and even the traders, like, they don't really look at the bigger time frame, and everybody's gonna be seeing this. So when people sell here, all those who bought here, their orders automatically become sell orders, and again they add momentum. So in other words, we are relying on big money here. So if they give us a trend day to the downside here, we want them to pull back and then collapse, you see. And this collapse is going to be so big. Why? Because it's being pushed by heavy orders from large institutions that have already placed sell orders when prices were maybe halfway or even down here. So there's a lot of momentum here. So if I get a trend day here, boy, I'm gonna say this is an A+ setup. All right, why? Because I know this is most likely gonna be pushed by big money. And let me just explain this quite simply. Most of the time prices will be ranging. Okay, prices have three paces. They go up, they go down, and they range. Most of the time prices will be ranging. So if you look at a daily time frame, a range in a daily time frame can give a lot of big opportunities, okay? Because for some, a range in a daily time frame will have a lot of trends. For those who are on a smaller time frame, this will be a trend. But for those who are looking at a daily time frame, you will understand that this is just a range, and most of the time prices will be ranging. So most likely they are going down here, okay? And even here, we want to see what they're gonna do. If they give us a trend day to the upside, here's the following day we want prices to collapse and give us our criteria. Then we want to take them all the way back. You'll be surprised at how many times prices actually play inside a pattern ranging. Remember, if it's a daily time frame and they are ranging, they are just accumulating a lot of orders. And even big institutions, when they want to do long-term thing, they are just gonna accumulate, and then go in heavily, you see. So that's why I love the daily time frame. And I repeat, our interest is when they come here, okay? So you might get a trend day here in the middle, and it might just be maybe ready to pull back, do something, because it's not just gonna go all the way straight to the other end. No, it's gonna play, but eventually it's gonna get to the other end. Yes, it can break out. That's why we say we want to see what happens. If it breaks out, we will accept that and wait for it to come and retest. It might retest and then give us a trend day here. If they do this, then we know that, oh, it's a trend day, we want to take it all the way back. All right, so this is what we do. Let's go to oil quite quick. So on oil, as I said already, there are many people who actually were buying here. All right, but remember what I just explained. The most important thing is to understand, where are we? If you bought here or you were willing to buy here, then there's something you really didn't pay attention to. Let me show you what it is. I just switched to a daily time frame, as you can see up here. And when you look at a daily time frame, prices are mostly gonna spend their time ranging, okay? They will trend range, okay? So yes, they trended up, but look at what they did. They started ranging. And where is that trend day that we saw? This is that trend day that we saw. So I saw it. That's why I take notes during the day, and that's why I analyze the day before, because when I analyze during the night, I'm able to look at a daily time frame. I'm not just gonna come to my chart blindly. No, you can't come to a chart blindly. As I said, up here there is a lot of selling orders pending. That's why most of the time when prices come here, they are pushed down, and heavily so. Okay, because if we look at this thing here, it actually went down almost 200. You see, almost 200. And I did sell it here on this day on a pullback. You see, now this became a trend day because they violated the low of this one. I did sell it here for 200, and my target was based on what? On this line here. You see, you can project, you can see all this line, but I don't usually want to take it straight on the line. Okay, and I've already explained why. And one of the reason is there's going to be a lot of buying orders here. That's why mostly prices might be pushed back here. Most of the time they will be in ranging, and yes, they can still break to the downside or anyway to the upside, but it's very important for us to see what happens, because on a daily time frame, this tells you, by looking at this alone, you can see this was a trend day to the downside and this was a trend day to the upside. You see, so for somebody who was expecting to buy here, then prices will have to overcome all the sell orders that are above here. And that's a lot, because everybody around the world sees this. Yes, of course, over the long term, these things will be governed by macroeconomics, and they will have to align or follow macroeconomics. But on the day itself, we were at a critical area. and we can't ignore that. Okay, I said our interest is here. If you miss this move, obviously this was so simple for me to take it down because this was just a simple trend day. Okay, it's not a climax. If you look at this one, it's a climax. And again, people wanted to sell the following day, but where are we? You see, so please look at a bigger time frame. And honestly, in a week, you might get 3 opportunities or even 2. And that makes it even much more better because you take it and you are done. Okay, if you want to hold, as I told you, I took it and I held all the way down here because I was governed by this line. All right, so this was roughly a 2-day trade, but I didn't know it was going to be 2 days. It could have been 3 or 4, but they were actually heading down, and this is now pushed by big money. Why? Because everybody around the world sees this. Remember, many people will be waiting for prices to come to this area. We have a lot of asset, guys. If you are looking for patterns on a daily time frame and you wait to see when they come to a crucial area, really honestly, you're gonna be in very big profits with less trade. The risk reward is so big, even for those who are doing swing trading. Okay, so the most important thing is to come here. For that person who actually asked me, how do I qualify a trade? Let them give me a trend day or a trend reversal here. That one is gonna be my A setup based on the location. Okay, because if you are inside here, sometimes they will play before reaching here. All right, but if they give you a trend day here, this one is pushed by big orders. People on bigger time frames, they are in it. Institutions are jumping in. All those pending orders, they are pushing the move down, you see. So guys, I just wanted to explain this to you. All right, because now it's so easy, very easy. Let me show you. So you see, I'm on a 50-minute time frame. This day just kept on going down. Yes, it would have been good if they gave a pattern to the upside. I was still looking at that, but look at what they look at where we aim. Look at where we were in the first place. Okay, very crucial area. Now they came and they gave a TD to the downside, and then they went all the way back. You see, they went all the way back to key areas again. Look at here. They just came here, right, and they gave a beautiful pattern here. There was no need to wait for a retest here because they've already stop hunted. I will share these things, but I gave you all the patterns in my playbook already, which is in the description below. Yes, this playbook has everything you need, all the patterns, everything you need I shared on it. You can just, actually most of you have it. Please read it and make sure you actually master what's on it. You see, this is a stop hunt. So if I did draw this pattern under patterns on explosive trend strategy for indices, explosive trading strategy for indices, I drew these patterns. This is a stop hunt. Once they stop hunt and give you a big candle, this is now what we call an engulfing candle. This is what you take, all right, all the way back down. See, I took it to 200 because I don't want to take it straight to the line, you see, and it just took 2 days. But this is a trend day. They pull all the way back and we want to collapse with them. Okay, guys, I really appreciate you. I've been sharing this strategy for a long time, and this is what keeps on happening over and over again. Look at BTC, look at Ethereum. They've been doing the same thing, pulling back, going down, following day, pull back, go down for a number of days. This thing never changes, honestly, never changes. Go make sure you read that book, guys. I gave you everything you need in it. Okay, even my recent video, I gave you everything you'll ever need. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscription button.